Have you ever told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? Tomorrow I'll wake up early. Tomorrow I'll work on my goals. Tomorrow I'll stop wasting time, but somehow tomorrow keeps moving further away. We scroll through our phones for a few minutes, and suddenly an hour is gone. We plan big dreams, but delay the small actions that make them real. And deep inside, we know something isn't right, because the truth is, most people don't fail because they lack intelligence, talent, or opportunity. They fail because they cannot discipline their own minds. The mind is a strange thing. It can build empires or destroy dreams. It can lead you toward greatness or trap you in endless distraction. And the difference between those two paths often comes down to one simple ability: the ability to control your thoughts. Instead of letting your thoughts control you, many people spend their entire lives fighting this. It's an invisible battle, but very few ever learn the secret. And today, I want to share with you a simple story. A story that may help you understand why mental discipline is one of the most powerful skills you can ever develop. Because sometimes, a small story can reveal a truth that no lecture ever could. So if you don't want to miss the opportunities life offers you, then listen to this story carefully, because this is not just a story about one boy. In many ways, it is a story about all of us. Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by green hills, there lived a boy named Daniel. Daniel was not a bad boy. In fact, he was kind, friendly, and intelligent, but he had one serious problem. He was incredibly lazy. Every morning his mother would say, "Daniel, wake up early. Work hard while you are young." But Daniel would roll over in his bed and reply, "I'll do it later." Later never came. When his friends studied, Daniel rested. When others practiced their skills, Daniel watched. When work appeared difficult, Daniel simply walked away. Days turned into months. Months turned into years. And slowly, Daniel began to notice something strange. His friends were moving forward in life. Some were learning trades. Some were building businesses. Some were becoming stronger, smarter, and more confident. But Daniel was exactly where he had always been, confused, frustrated, and secretly disappointed with himself. One afternoon, while sitting under a tree doing nothing as usual, Daniel saw an old traveler. Walking into the village, the man had calm eyes and a peaceful presence. People whispered that he was a wise man who had traveled across many lands. Daniel didn't believe much in wisdom, but boredom led him to approach the old man, and that small decision would soon change his life. Daniel walked up to the old traveler and asked, "Sir, people say you are wise. If that is true, tell me something." The wise man smiled gently. "What would you like to know?" Daniel sighed. "I don't understand my life. I want to succeed. I want to become something great. But I always feel lazy, distracted, unmotivated. Why is that?" The wise man looked at him quietly for a moment. Then he said, "Before I answer your question, let me tell you a story." Many years ago, the wise man began. There was a powerful king who owned a beautiful palace filled with gold, jewels, and rare treasures. One day the king made an announcement across the kingdom. He said, "Tomorrow morning, the palace gates will open at sunrise. Anyone who enters may take as much treasure as they can carry. But when the sun sets, the gates will close forever." People across the kingdom were excited. Everyone prepared bags, carts, and baskets. Everyone. Except one man. This man was known for being lazy. He heard the announcement, but instead of preparing, he said, "There is plenty of time tomorrow." The next morning, people woke before sunrise and ran toward the palace. But the lazy man woke up late. He stretched, yawned, and said, "The day has just started. I'll go later." When he finally began walking toward the palace, he passed a beautiful garden filled with soft grass and shade. He thought, "I'll rest here for a moment." And he lay down. The warm sun and gentle breeze made him sleepy. Soon, he fell asleep. When he finally woke up, the sky was already turning orange. Panicked, He ran toward the palace as fast as he could, but when he arrived, the sun had already set, the palace gates were closed. The opportunity had disappeared forever, and all he could do was stand there in silence. The wise man paused. Then he looked directly at Daniel and said quietly, "Life is exactly like that palace. Every day, the gates open for you. You are given time, energy, and opportunity. But many people waste the morning of their lives resting, delaying, and sleeping through their chances. And when they finally wake up, the gates have already closed." Daniel felt a strange heaviness in his chest. For the first time, he realized something painful. He had been sleeping through his own life. Daniel lowered his head. "So, I have already wasted my chance." The wise man shook his head gently. "No, as long as the sun has not set. The gates are still open, but remember this. You do not discipline your mind when life becomes easy. You discipline your mind when it wants to escape, when it wants comfort, when it wants to delay. That is where true strength begins." Daniel remained silent, but something inside him had changed. For the first time, he understood his real enemy was not the world, it was his own undisciplined mind. That evening, Daniel went home, and the next morning, he woke up earlier than usual. It wasn't easy. His mind told him to stay in bed, but he got up anyway. Day by day, began doing small things with discipline. He worked, he learned, he improved. Slowly, his confidence grew. Months later, people in the village noticed something surprising. Daniel was no longer the lazy boy who sat under the tree. He had become focused, energetic, and determined, not because life became easier, but because he had finally learned how to guide his mind instead of obeying it. And in real life, the lesson is exactly the same. Time is more valuable than gold. Every day, life opens its gates for you, but discipline is the key that allows you to walk inside. Your mind will always search for comfort, but your future is built by the actions you take when comfort whispers. Wait until tomorrow, because if you learn to discipline your mind, you will discover a strength that most people never unlock. And if you respect your time, time will eventually reward you. If you enjoyed this story and found meaning in it, take a moment to like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more inspiring stories about life, discipline, and personal growth, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening. And remember, the gates of opportunity are open today. Make sure you walk through them before the sun sets.